I am here to tell you the truth about what goes on in our government. The name given to me by our government agents, was David Keith Quigley. My real name is John Kennedy Jr. My father was President of the United States in 1963. He was assassinated by people within our government to take over our government. My whole family murdered, some replaced. It's all to steal billions of dollars. If you are very rich and the mafia wants you and your money, they will plan first degree murder ahead of time. Things they did to me, people tried to have me assassinated, murdered, whatever you want to call it, more than once. And the people I was living with gave me a vasectomy so I could not have children. Yeah, it all goes to the family. They want their family in to get the billions and millions of dollars. That's what the mafia does, people. I am the real John Kennedy Jr. sharing my story, and this is out of the book Jacqueline Kennedy. We were at an amusement park this day. This is the John Kennedy right here that the whole world knew. He showed up at my school and replaced me. This is me right here. He is showing me his ring that he got from the mafia. I was explaining to him a ring that I got from the Queen of England. I disappeared, and he stayed. And he became the new John Kennedy. Eventually, they thought I was dead. Sean Hannity of Fox News, people, they get him young, put him in, you know. Anyway, that's how they replaced me right there. They put this John Kennedy, and his name wasn't John Kennedy until I was gone, but he became the new John Kennedy after that. And that picture I was showing you, he was showing me his ring. I don't know, I think we were 9. That, kids don't keep track of their age. But anyway, he had to commit murder to get that ring, people. Let that sink in at 9. What they will do is they will strap someone in a chair. They will coax a child into committing murder, however they have to. Once that child commits that murder, they're done. They are in the syndicate. I get a lot of questions. Caroline Kennedy is still alive. Look at my face expression. This was the day they had me meet my new sister. The Martha Moxley murder was my sister Caroline Kennedy. They murdered my sister Caroline Kennedy, and this was my new sister. My sister was dead. I was on the plane. Secret Service agents or federal agents told me to go meet my new sister. I went to go meet my new sister, and I was freaking out. I don't have a new sister. My sister's dead. This cop right here, this policeman comes up to me and says, "What can I do?" I said, "You can do all kinds to help me." Well, they're all connected. This man right here and this man right here was probably in on the assassination of my father, John Kennedy. This man right here, after I told him, "Please help me," went to this man, said the kid's not going to go with the program. They drugged me back on the airplane and literally kicked me unconscious. They beat me so bad that day because I was not going with the program. This is me right here on the show 1 Adam 12. That is me. And my lines where my mom is really going to get pissed off at me. But that was me. They were trying to build me up through Hollywood and all that. And anyway, that is me actually on the show 1 Adam 12. I took that off my TV. That's why there's a line in it. If you look at my pug nose and my ears, if you look at childhood photos, I had a pug nose like I do now. My earlobes hung down like they do in this picture. The John Kennedy the whole world knew had a pointy nose, no earlobes, and jet black hair. Does that look like jet black hair to you? No. This is me. The FBI wanted to know who this was in this dog cage. I went to a yard. They beat me. I had to replace my white t-shirt because it was covered with blood. They had me put on this Greek shirt. I think this was a picture to Aristotle Onassis to extort money from my stepfather. They beat me. They drugged me. And a lot of crazy stories, people. I was kidnapped by the age of 9. I was replaced by people within the mafia, organized crime, our government, whatever you want to call it. They thought I was dead. What the mafia does, a good example, is the hermit crab. When they move in, they simply replace you and move right into your shoes and steal everything you got. My mother and my sister and my step family by 1975 had all been murdered. My father, Aristotle Onassis, was a billionaire. They stole everything from the Kennedys and the Onassis family with replacements. The replacements of me, my sister Caroline Kennedy, and my mother Jackie Kennedy that were murdered in 75 made the mafia billions of dollars, people. Please look at childhood photos, people. Hair color, earlobes, pug nose, lips. That was me before I was replaced. That was my mother and sister before they were replaced. Please look at that picture. I remember that well because the Secret Service had me practicing that for hours as a child. And I didn't even understand it. They asked me to get a toy to leave on my father's grave. I grabbed an airplane. They took the airplane away from me at the funeral and gave me a little boat instead. It's all photo ops, people. Look at that face right there. Look at the hair color. Look at the earlobes. Look at the pug nose, people. I was replaced. As a child. Look at the hair color. Look at those ears, people. Please look at the ears. Ears don't lie. I remember that day. One of few that I remember as a child, but I remember that red upholstery, and as a kid, that just made my whole day. My father was assassinated by our own government. It was a takeover of the Kennedy family by the mafia, government, criminals, whatever you want to call them. This man replaced me. He was a replacement by the mafia. The mafia does that because they want their own. They want their own blood in and have the wealth, and that's how they do it. They'd have no problem murdering and putting their own children in someone else's shoes. And they're very powerful. Now look at this, people. Look at the expression on my mother Jackie's face. This was in 1971. This was before my mother was murdered in 75. But look at her face. Look at this man. You tell me, people, who's the real daddy? You tell me who looks more like the father to this man right here that took my identity. I'm going to tell you how to take over an entire country like England with just the murder and replacement of a couple people. This is my mother, Jackie Kennedy. This picture was taken in Scotland. This is me right here, the real John Kennedy Jr. This is an orphanage. This was President Eisenhower. This right here was my friend Brenda, the real Princess Diana. She was moved to the United States and hid out as a child. She was replaced. This is an orphanage. They get children young and they put them in other people's shoes. That's how the mafia works. That one replacement right there, my friend Brenda that has passed away now, took over England, people. Everything you know is lies. Aristotle Onassis, a Greek billionaire my mother, Jackie Kennedy, married. This is his son, Alexander Onassis. He was shot in the head while we were in midair in Greece. And we crashed the plane. I broke my arm, and that was covered up. They said he just died in the plane crash. My father, a very powerful man, as you can see. He was beat to death in our side yard with an axe. I'm a personal eyewitness to that murder. They simply sent him back to Greece and said he had a heart attack. Our government is a murder crime ring, people.